Beth, here you are sitting in the doctor's office. You are not even at the conference, and I have orchestrated a very wonderful opportunity for you, and you didn't do a thing. And
Wow.
right then I went, God, you're the one that does it all.
Welcome to Silently Bleeding Hope for the Pastor's Wife. Today, we're going to be talking about obedience when it doesn't make sense. Our special guest is Beth Fortune. She is an author, she's a pastor's wife, and an amazing woman of God. Welcome, Beth.
It's so good to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Oh, our great pleasure. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am a Southern girl that you will catch from my accent. I live in South Carolina. My husband is a pastor. He is retired, but then not retired. I think some people may can relate to that. And we're empty nesters. We have a rescue named Gracie. She keeps us busy. I love to garden, and that's a nutshell there.
Okay. And she has a brand new devotional called The Potting Bench. And so we'll leave a link down below where you can
Okay,
order that if you'd like.
okay,
And yeah,
okay.
so we're
It's,
excited about her
it's
new book.
It's 60 daily garden devotions with the Master Gardener. And I take the principles of gardening and spiritual applications and put it together from the Master Gardener. So
I
it was
love
fun.
that. I love that. All right, let's just jump right into the interview.
Okay.
Beth, take us back to the day when you told me about you were driving down the mountain and God specifically spoke something to your heart.
Oh, that's a day that I will not forget. It was a March day. I was speaking to a Methodist group, and I was coming down the mountain. And after you speak, you're tired, but you're excited, and you love to see what God's doing, and you're kind of like on this little high. So I'm up at the mountain, going down the mountain, thinking about the next thing. And a lot was happening. I was being asked to speak more. And so I'm driving down the mountain and kind of redoing things and kind of talking with the Lord. And I heard him say, Beth, I need you to concentrate on your husband and your family and your church family. And I said, okay, I can do that along with everything else. And then it's kind of like, then he comes back and says, no, I need you to let go of everything and take care of your family and your church family. So, driving down the mountain, I work through this and I'm thinking about the things that are ahead of me. And I've got a conference ahead, two conferences ahead of me. Someone was already talking to me about speaking, and I just felt in my spirit that I was supposed to say no to all of it. I did not understand, but I thought, okay, all right, I'll do it. And I did it.
Wow, that was like a laying down Isaac moment for you, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Because when you're working towards something and there's momentum, you feel like God's opening doors and you feel like it's him. You want to walk through it, and there's excitement in that, because if you're serving the Lord and you want to serve him and he's doing things and giving you opportunity, it's like, all right, we're on team, we're going here. And then for him just to say, no, we're going to pause this. Yeah,
Mm.
it was it was quite, I was not expecting that.
I can only imagine.
So I laid it down.
What was your response to God? I mean, let's just be nitty gritty real, okay? Can we do that?
Um, Toddler tantrum. I really didn't understand. And it was a long trip home. And I just really wrestled with him. I kept thinking, it's that thing, am I hearing this right? Do you really want me to do this? And I say that I laid it down, but it wasn't without a little uh, fussing and asking whys. And I was kind of heartbroken because I had
Mm.
been, as a pastor's wife, I had been. doing everything with my pastor and helping him and helping his ministry. And I felt like for the first time, God was opening doors for me to have my time to do some things for him. And I think that was the hardest part. It was like, wait a minute, I thought this was going to be my time. What do you mean take care of him in the church family? It's like, this is a Beth time. So I really struggled with that. That was probably the biggest thing I struggled with was why wasn't it my time? Because I thought it might be.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So, Beth, when we talked the other day, you told me your husband started having health struggles. Can you tell me a little about that?
Well, it's interesting enough. This was a Saturday that I had spoke to this group, and coming down the mountain, we were getting ready for a revival. So I knew I was walking into a busy time. It was one that we were going to do for 4 days. We had a visitor coming in, a friend of the church. He had grown up and ministered in the church and coming back. So we were excited about seeing him and his family, but it was going to be a busy time. So about Thursday, he starts getting a crick in my husband gets a crick in his neck. And so that last service, he was very uncomfortable. And I'm still not, I'm just thinking he slept, wrong. Move forward another week, it got worse. It got so bad that he was bedridden because it numbed his arm. So for 3 weeks, he was in the bed upstairs in this house we were in at the time, and I was running up and down the steps, and it never occurred to me what God had asked me to do yet. I was just in the moment. And if you've ever had a health issue with a spouse, a child. I mean, you just jump in the moment, running up and down the steps. So we finally get to a neurologist, and they found out that he had a pinched nerve in the back of his neck. So
Hmm.
we had to go into surgery. Thank goodness the man who was doing the revival was in between churches. And so he said, I'll take Sundays. Don't worry about it, Beth. Just take care of Greg. We go have the surgery. We come into the house, and women, you know how we like to put our machines on. So I get him upstairs. I said, I'm going to turn the dishwasher on, the washing machine, the dryer. I'll feel like I'm doing something, and I'm going to take a nap because we'd been up since 5 o'clock. He's on drugs, so we're gonna rest. I'm downstairs getting ready to walk upstairs, and I hear him shout, Beth. I run upstairs because he's supposed to be asleep. I run upstairs and he says, my chest is hurting.
Oh,
And the surgery was through the neck, through going back to this C6, I think, area in the neck. And the doctor said, recovery nurse said, well, we've pressed down on you. So you go on home. You're probably okay. He was not okay. The more he talked, the more I was on the phone, and if I couldn't get, it was lunchtime, I couldn't get anyone to talk to me, and he grabbed my hand and he says, "Call 911 now."
ooh.
Whoa! So we call 911. The fire trucks, the rescue trucks, the police, everybody's come, and we're upstairs. Well, I'm thinking they're going to put him on a gurney. Well, they sit him up in a chair to go down the steps, and his neck is not supposed to be moving, and he's bouncing down the steps.
Oh,
All I'm thinking is his neck, and finally I realized it was his heart. They were not worried about his neck. So we get to the hospital. The neurosurgeon finds out somehow, I mean, because we're back at the same hospital, they were going to rush him in for a CT, the heart cath, and he goes, I've just had this man under for 3 hours. You can't put him back under. So we sat in the hospital, well, in the hospital for 2 days waiting for the heart cath. Come to find out, he had quadruple bypass surgery. He was blocked in 4 arteries, 95% with
ooh,
only there's 25% of the people that have a fifth artery, and he was one of those, and that's what saved him.
praise
So
God.
needless to say, our outpatient surgery that was supposed to be a quick fix is now turning into 5 days in the hospital, which I couldn't believe they sent us home 5 days after all of this open heart surgery. I get home, the people in the church move our dining room table out, bring the bed down to the dining room so I can take care of him. And it was about the second night. I'm sitting on the couch and it's all coming down what's happened in the last 4 weeks. And I remembered the voice coming down the mountain and I went, ah, now I get it. Because he had a long recovery. I
Mm.
needed to take care of my family and I need to take care of the church family, and I didn't have time for anything else. So God had cleared my calendar for that moment.
I love how, God sees the big picture of our lives and he knows what's coming and he prepared you instead of shocked you with, you know, he's such a gracious God and I'm so grateful for that, aren't you?
I am, because it was a shock enough. It was enough of a shock to have to um, have a heart attack
Yeah.
and have to. It was, yeah, it was tough. But I think that's what helped in the midst of it is I knew that he was in it because he went before us.
Mm. So your husband actually had the heart attack?
Yes, yes, he had
Wow.
the. I'm in the ambulance, and I'll have to tell this funny story because he asked if I would. I mean, if I was going to, because I have to. I'm a people person, and I like to make new friends. That's just what I do. So I was going to follow them, and I said, "Can I ride in the tr front of the truck?" And the guy goes, "Yes." I guess back then they did. This is 2014. So I get in the front of the truck and I'm thinking, he's okay. They're back there talking to him. I didn't realize he'd actually had a heart attack. I
Oh,
mean, because they don't talk to you. They're
yeah.
focusing on the patient and they're just saying, get the dogs out of the way, get everybody out of the way. We're doing our job. So I'm sitting in the front of the truck and I'm holding on because I knew we were going to take off. Well, we get in the truck and he turns the blinker on and he turns right. And he stops and looks, and I'm going, okay, we're getting on the main road. We're going to take off. He turns that blinker on and he starts going very slow. So I'm thinking, false alarm. We'll just go to the hospital and they'll send us right back home. So I'm just right. It took for I'm just riding there in the back and I'm just riding. So finally I look over at my new friend and I said, so where are you from? My husband's in the back. He can hear me. He's going, they're putting nitroglycerin under his tongue. They're on the phone with the doctor at the emergency room telling them what to do because he is having a heart attack. He thinks he's dying and he hears his wife in the front going, so
Where are you from?
where are you from? And so I chatted all the way there. I knew all about his children, his ankle that he hurt. I mean, I knew it all. And to this day, that's the story my husband remembers is me riding in that truck. But I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that was really happening.
That's too funny. But I also think that's the grace of God that just instead of you being in panic mode, am I going to lose my husband? God, are you getting ready to take him? Is he going to be okay? God just allowed you to just have that, I don't know what you want to call it, but I know his sense of peace
Right.
and you being who you are, that people person just being a
Mhm.
blessing to the driver. I
So
love
then
it.
we get to the hospital. I go to park the car and I come back in and our son is there and I walk back in and I said, "So what did the doctor say?" And they said, "Well, I've had a heart attack." Well, I just burst out crying. And our son looks at me and Greg looks at me and he goes, "Didn't you know all along I was having a heart attack?" And I said, "It never really dawned on me. So yes, I think God was just preparing me until, until we got to where we needed to be. And then I fell apart, but I got it back together.
Well, that's good.
The most difficult part, it was a juggle. It was a juggle because I feel called as much as my husband as a pastor's wife, and I had many roles in the church. We were at this time a smaller church, and if you're a one cell one cell church, you really do it all. And so I was teaching Sunday school. I was helping with the women's ministry. And here I am now thinking they were concerned about him. I had to show a brave face.
Mm.
And so I would have his sister or someone in the family come and stay with him on Sunday mornings. And I would always go to church, put on that smile. Everything's going to be okay because they were so concerned. I mean, this was a big deal. This was their pastor. They loved him. And I needed to show them he's going to be okay. Then I would have to come and teach on Wednesday nights because the man who was filling in, and thank goodness well, God knew it was all in his orchestration. He was in between churches, so he would do Sunday mornings. But I came in on Wednesday nights and I taught Wednesday night Bible studies. And I think the biggest thing was just trying to be brave in front of them. And then going home and being brave in front of my husband, who is so weak and discouraged. And I mean, that's a major surgery to have to recover from. And it took a lot of inner strength to do all that.
Well, thank God for his strength. Amen.
Mhm.
Beth, were there moments of discouragement during this season? And did you
Oh,
just
yeah.
sometimes feel like, God, why? Why did you make me walk away from the ministry I felt you called me to?
There was a lot of discouragement because, like I said, I thought the doors were opening and I thought that this was my time. And you never, you never want to make the person who is sick feel bad because they're sick or blame them for why'd you have a heart attack? You ruined my life. I mean, you can't do that, even though in the middle of the night you may be thinking it. The nights were the hardest time because I was so tired. I had so many things I had to do during the day. And I was so tired that that's when the discouragement would come in and all the what ifs and where would I be now? And uh, it was a very dark time. It was very hard. And I couldn't get him to eat. Everything tasted wrong. I was always being sent to a grocery store. Well, let's try this. Let's try that. It wasn't his fault. The chemicals had changed his taste and they're wanting him to eat, but nothing's tasting right. So I'm running all over town. I have his sister helping me find things for him to eat. And so nothing was going smoothly. I mean, nothing. So it was a discouraging time.
I can only imagine. Okay. So, Beth, you had told me that you were going to be attending a writers' conference, and obviously that's one of the things that you had to say no to. And I'm sure that was heartbreaking for you. But I know from what you told me, there's a God story in this. So tell us about this.
This is a God story. The surgery it all started in March, the end of March. So we're into April, and the conference is in May. So I'm 3 months into caregiving. I'm weary. I'm missing my friends. I'm missing my life. Um, but I'm holding on. I'm doing it. So the conference was coming up. And in the past few conferences, I had been in a couple of contests and I was planning on what I was going to do that year. And so I was just thinking about, oh, I wonder if that article would have won an award, or I wonder if that Bible study I was going to work on would win an award. Because I had been planning on it. So about May, Greg starts wearing down again. He was recovering, doing well, and he hit this place where he just started plummeting again. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was doing everything the doctor said he was too. And so it's the week of the conference, and I take him to the doctor, and they were working us in. It was a bad day. He'd been really sick for a few days. He's in the he's in the waiting room hanging on to a chair. I mean, he is just not doing well. 12 o'clock, trying to work us in toward the end of lunch, before lunchtime. And I had a very moment in the flesh Wah, wah, wah. Why? He's not getting better. Here we are. I thought we were getting better. Now he's not. Oh, it's Wednesday. Today is the day of the writers' conference and the award ceremony. All my friends are getting excited about the banquet tonight, and I'm just missing out on everything. And then I'm sitting there and I pick up my phone and I have a message. And I open it, and it is from the editor of In Touch Ministries, who I had written for 2 years prior. I had had an article published with them. And she says, Beth, there's an opportunity that we're going to start doing something new at In Touch Ministry, and I think you might be a good fit for this. And it is blogging for the website. Let me know if you think you're interested.
Now, that's Charles Stanley's ministry.
Charles Stanley's ministry.
Wow.
And I had recently, my very first article ever published was with In Touch Ministries. And that meant a lot to me because my dad passed away with cancer at the age of 64. And I would come home with my mom and I would help her out and I would read to him his devotions in the In Touch Ministry magazine. So when I found out the editor was coming a couple of years before to the conference, I gave her an article I wrote about daddy's shoes. It was about my daddy's shoes and they published it. So that I thought if I never get published again, that meant something to me because it was a publication I had shared with my dad. So that was already near and dear to my heart. So for her to call a couple of years later and say, Beth, so I'm sitting there and that same voice that talked to me coming down the mountain, that told me to give everything up, said, Beth, here you are sitting in the doctor's office. You are not even at the conference, and I have orchestrated a very wonderful opportunity for you, and you didn't do a thing. And
Wow.
right then I went, God, you're the one that does it all. Now, it was a contact that I had made earlier, so it's not like it just came out of the sky. I had done some work beforehand by going to the conference, meeting her, doing the things she asked me to do to get into the magazine the first time. So I had done the work in the back, but he also blessed that, the efforts that I made then, but he orchestrated all of that. I didn't have to pay to go to conference to get, and it was a year's job. The only reason the job quit is they decided to pull the writing in-house and not contract a freelance writer. But I had the job for a full year and wrote 2 articles a month and got more income coming in while Greg was out recovering. And it was just what we needed for that time. So he showed me he's got it. That was a big lesson. That was a big
Wow.
lesson. That's one of
Obedient.
those obedience. And that's one of those, I like to call them benchmarks, where when something happens, like a surveyor, they'll put that benchmark in and then they'll walk back and survey. And so those marks, it's like you put those down in the ground. And those things, when God shows up and you put them in the ground, and when you move forward and things start happening, you can look back and say, but he did this and he did that. And like the memory stones that the Israelites were told before crossing the Jordan River, put those memory stones. That was like a memory stone for me. And to this day, I can look back on that when things are starting, God's asking me to do something and I'm having to be obedient and don't understand why, I can say, but he did that. And so that was a big lesson. I didn't know the scope of it all at the time. All I knew is, God, you see me. You see
Mm,
me.
I love that. Yeah, the God who sees.
Hmm.
So, Beth, for that precious pastor's wife that is watching right now,
Mm.
and maybe God has told her, she's heard him speaking to her heart, and she just knows I've got to stop this or I'm supposed to do that, and she's struggling with this decision. Would you speak to her for a moment?
Wow. First of all, I know where you are. I know where you are. God is a redeeming God. And he is going to redeem those things, not just the things that we say that the enemy's taken away and God redeems them. It's not just those things, it's those things that we feel like he's taken from us. It's just like a child. You're going to take away something they're not ready for yet, or take away something that's harmful to them, or something that is a not yet. And we're his children. So he is um, he is our father. He is a good father. We trust him, and you just have to walk it out. You just have to walk it out, knowing that he does have your best interest. And I guess I just go back to he sees you. He sees you. He sees you. You're his daughter. You're his daughter. He's not going to hurt you or do something that's bad for you. It's all for your good. But as a parent, he knows, it's like you said earlier, he sees it all.
Yeah, amen. So, Beth, thank you so much for being with us. As we wrap this up, tell me, what are you doing now? Are you going out and speaking? Are you writing a new project? What's going on?
Well, write a book, they said. It'll be fun. So with this book, I thought writing the book was difficult, but I'm in the marketing stage of the book. It's only been launched 2 months. So that is on my plate as a big project right now. And putting that out there, speaking engagements, working on those. I've done some book signings. I'm a photographer, so my photos are in my book. It's a gardening book. And my publisher, I was talking to him, I was going, it's a gardening book. You've got to have photos. I mean, a gardener wants to see pictures. So now when I post pictures, I have people say, "Oh, is this for your next book?" So I know God's stirring something, but right now it is promoting this book and speaking and just sharing with women.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I love that you're a Baptist pastor's wife, right?
Yes.
But yet you speak all across denominations. So you're a Baptist pastor's wife, but you're interdenominational when it comes to ministry. I love that.
Yes, we're at a non-denominational church right now, and we've served in many, many non-denominationals or community churches where there's a lot of different denominations and faith, not faiths, but a lot of different denominations kind of melded together. So yes, and I'm very comfortable doing that, and I just love seeing there's differences, but we're all the same. We all have the
Amen.
same. We all have the same Lord Jesus.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a conference speaker, we'll leave Beth's information where you can reach out to her. And I encourage you, get her book.
And
Thank
we
you.
will have fun if we if you have me there. We do have fun.
I can tell that. There's no doubt. Thank you so much for joining us today, Beth. And I'm so happy that our mutual friend Tina
Yes.
connected us. And I'm just grateful for all that God is doing. And sweet woman of God, thank you so much for watching today. If you have a prayer request, we'll leave our email right below where you can email me. And I promise I will email back as quickly as possible. And I will pray for you. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next video. God bless. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for watching Silently Bleeding, Finding Hope for the Pastor's Wife. I look forward to connecting with you. Feel free to leave me comments down below and make sure and subscribe. If you want to know every time a new video is coming out, hit the bell. I would be so delighted if you would also hit the like button and feel free to share this video with anyone you know that this would encourage. Blessings, my friend.